Trees, flowers, and gardens. Who doesn't love them? Sitting in the shade of a tree on a hot sunny day, or feeling raindrops falling from its leaves onto your face. It has its own quiet kind of happiness. But in the United States, there are some trees that people believe are cursed, because at night, spirits and wandering souls are said to live there. Today's story is a real horror incident from Ravenwood University in Oregon. Aiden, Lucas, and Noah were first year students living together in the same dorm room. They had become close friends within just a few months. One night, they planned to explore the campus. Someone had told them about an old willow tree hidden deep inside the university forest trail, a tree many students called haunted or cursed. No one was allowed to go near it, but the three boys decided they would sneak in and see it for themselves. They climbed over a wired fence and entered the isolated area where the willow tree stood. The tree was massive and terrifying. Half its branches were dried up, and the rest looked lifeless and twisted. Old ribbons, prayer tags, and torn fabric pieces were tied all around its trunk. Noah jokingly challenged the other two. Whoever brings back one of these ribbons, I'll give him $50. Lucas refused immediately. He was scared. But Aiden began walking toward the tree without hesitation. Lucas panicked and grabbed his arm, trying to stop him. He started telling Aiden the story behind the cursed tree. Years ago, a girl was murdered by her own boyfriend. Her body was buried right beneath that very tree. People believed her spirit was still tied to the willow tree, and anyone who touched it was later hunted by the same vengeful ghost. But Aiden laughed at the story, ignored every warning, and walked right up to the tree. Before Lucas could stop him, Aiden reached up and tore off one of the hanging ribbons, and even pulled off a string wrapped around a branch. He casually walked back and handed both items to Noah. Noah immediately paid him the money just as he had promised, and the two of them started teasing Lucas for being scared. After a while, the three returned to their dorm. Most students had gone out celebrating because finals had just ended, so the entire hallway was practically empty that night. Lucas locked the room from the inside, terrified and restless. Aiden and Noah were exhausted and fell asleep quickly. But sometime later, a loud crashing sound, like breaking glass, shocked all three awake. They looked around the room. Everything seemed normal, except the window. It kept opening by itself. Aiden hurried over and shut it nervously. This was unusual. Aiden, the one who always joked, now looked uneasy and silent. As soon as he lay back down, the window slammed open again with a violent bang. Aiden screamed, saying a horrifying woman was standing outside. Her hair was wild and tangled, her entire body covered in wounds, and she was threatening to kill him. Noah and Lucas rushed over, but outside the window, there was nothing. They tried to calm Aiden down, and after a long effort, made him lie down and rest. But the next morning, when they woke up, Aiden was no longer in the room. They searched the entire hostel for Aiden, but he was nowhere to be found. A few minutes later, Lucas received a call from a friend on another floor. He sounded terrified. He told them that the police had discovered a body hanging from the old haunted tree in the campus woods, and the body was Aiden's. He was hanging by the same red cloth strip he had torn off from the tree that night. Hearing this, Noah and Lucas froze in fear. Everything finally made sense. All of this was happening because of the vengeful spirit tied to that cursed tree. Aiden had wrapped himself in the same cloth he stole from the trunk, and now he was dead because of it. They were shaken to the core. Their train home was scheduled the next morning, so they told themselves they just had to survive one more night. That night, when Noah finally fell asleep, he had a horrifying dream. He saw the same giant tree, dark, twisted, and towering over him. From inside the hollow trunk, the same frightening woman emerged. Messy, tangled hair, wounds all over her body, her face twisted with rage. She grabbed Noah and began pulling him toward the tree. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. Suddenly, she wrapped her hands around his throat and began choking him. Noah woke up gasping, his shirt drenched with sweat. But what scared him even more was Lucas. He was sitting in the corner of his bed, hugged tightly into himself, shivering violently, muttering something under his breath while staring at something unseen. Noah called his name. Lucas didn't respond. It looked like he was talking to someone invisible and panicking more with every second. Noah was terrified now. He called him again and again, but Lucas ignored him completely. Noah finally decided Lucas needed medical help. He ran out of the room toward the hostel warden's office and banged on the door. As soon as the door opened, Noah froze. Standing in the doorway was Aiden. His entire body had turned blue, his eyes lifeless, and his neck twisted unnaturally. He was holding that same red cloth strip and slowly walking toward Noah. Noah screamed at the top of his lungs, and in that instant, Aiden vanished. The hostel warden rushed out, asking Noah what happened. Noah explained everything in panic, and they both ran back toward the room. But before they could reach it, they saw Lucas. He was dragging himself across the hallway floor, screaming in pain, as if something invisible was pulling him toward the exit. They chased after him, following him all the way to the old woods behind the campus, straight toward the haunted tree. What they saw next made their hearts stop. Lucas was floating in the air, his body lifted by an invisible force, his limbs jerking violently, his screams echoing through the night. It looked like something inside him was being ripped out. Noah kept shouting his name, but Lucas couldn't hear anything. Suddenly, there was a loud crack. Lucas's neck snapped. His lifeless body fell to the ground. Before Noah and the warden could reach him, she appeared. The same horrifying woman. Long tangled hair, deep wounds everywhere, eyes full of revenge. She stood right in front of them. Noah and the warden fainted instantly. When they woke up the next morning, both were lying near the tree. Lucas's body was now hanging from one of the tree branches, just like Aiden. The news spread across the entire campus. The administration sealed off the whole area with cement walls, blocking the tree forever. Noah had never mocked the tree, and maybe that's the only reason he survived. But even today, students avoid going near the woods because no one knows who the vengeful spirit will claim next.